Okay, Satnam, Jai Gurudev. So this is the window after the very, very powerful eclipse that we just were burst through, just pushed through that very intense rebirthing canal very quickly. And there is so much of a difference of the frequency, the quantum leap between the frequency that we were at pre-eclipse and we are at now is pretty palpable. I'm sure that if you're watching this, I'm sure you're very aware of how powerful that eclipse was. And we're all just kind of like getting our feet after the hangover of getting hit by such intense energies. And so I got a lot of messages from a lot of people about weird stuff happening directly before and during and continually afterwards, because these frequencies kind of force ascension, force upgrades, whether you are prepared for it or not. And that can feel really terrible or disorienting or scary if you don't know what's going on with you. A lot of people were feeling the sinus pressure in their heads during the eclipse while the shadow was passing over the sun. I felt like there's like a tightening, like vice around my head. And when that electromagnetic field breaks while we have that full solar eclipse, there's a window in time almost, and you can feel it happening with your electric-magnetic field, because we are just tiny little fractals of the mother. So what's happening to her is happening to us, and you feel it like in your arc line, where all of these magnetic anatomy features of your etheric body exist. So your guides, your ancestors, your galactic guides, your higher self, you will utilize these opportunities, especially if you're conscious, especially if you're on a path of consciousness. The ascended masters that are kind of guiding you, the teachers that are guiding you, will utilize these times, these openings, to drop things in parts of you that have been dormant or missing. And a lot of us feel the purge before the eclipse happening, the chaos, the anger, getting riled up, or the all sorts of intense experiences happen around eclipses. And so afterwards, when you go through that purge, when you go through that birth canal, and you are suddenly very different, you find yourself very, very different, and you're responding to things different. You might see that chaos continues to come your way, but you have become very non-reactive. That's a good thing. That's a sign that upgrades are working. If you feel a little more separated from drama, from trauma, from things that would usually trigger you, if you feel like you're observing it, you're responding to it, you're not reacting to it, you're thinking about which response would generate the most elevated sequence of events. When you have that kind of pause, that's literally time traveling. People might think you're spacey or slow. When you see gurus talk, they talk very slow. And sometimes these masters, like these Tibetan masters, they barely respond at all. You can say a whole slew of praise and sentences at them, and they'll just give you the sweetest smile or a look. And it's such a transmission, but there's not a lot of chit chat, because there's this internal, external awareness that my internal field is affecting the external field. And in that pause, that little gap you're kind of like, you know, viewing the matrix from the outside. And that's when you develop the self, the inner self that everybody's always talking about. What is the self? Who is the watcher? Who is the observer? Who is the true me? The one that is not pushed and pulled by these waves of duality, who's not all caught up in the drama, the one that's just watching. How do I get in touch with that? These upgrades are getting you in touch with that. That's where these pauses, these gaps are coming from. You're getting a little bit more separated from reality. So don't be beating up the eclipse talking about its chaos that it brings, because the chaos is really like kind of like a sandbox tampering field for the things that are coming inside your awareness. So use your upgrades well. Anyway, I wanted to do these kriyas that have been shared with me from my guides to do it within these specific energy fields. And these are so funny that it's these two. We're going to do these kriyas that will really let you milk the full nectar of this eclipse. All of that beautiful, high vibrational dodecahedron coating that is dripping out of the sun. Some of us we're not in a place where we are even receptive to something of that high of a frequency, you know? And some of us are, but I think most of us on this planet are not. And these coatings that are coming in now are literally activating the Angelic-Human. The Angelic-Human template, which is already kind of dormant in a lot of people, especially people watching me. You'll be very, your DNA will kind of magnetize you to these things, because it's just a privilege in this lifetime, in this timeline, to have the awareness that we do, to not have the suppression that we do, to have connectivity through things like YouTube, you know, where you don't have to hope that the dharmic gods let you fall upon a practice that can awaken your, you know, realization of what you are and what you're doing here. Now you can just literally Google it. It's such a privilege to know that an eclipse is happening, and like the window of the eclipse, and practices to do in high energy containers that would allow things to happen in your life that would have never happened. Like these moments, you watching this, you doing these practices, like your ancestors got you here. Your guides got you here. Your karmic accumulation, the good things you did in your past life, allow you to do these practices where so many other people, it just goes right with it. It misses them. Why would this even be necessary? You know, only a few of us have this subtle awareness of how these things work, and how if I do certain things at certain times on the planet, the rest of my life starts to go very smooth. It starts to get very easy, and very fun, and very interesting, and very destiny, and not kind of just like, you know, pedaling along and wondering what I'm doing here. It starts to become very alive. So we're going to do some solar breathing. Most of the coding is coming in through the sunlight, as most things do, but very powerfully with this. It's like activating solar feminine codes, which I never have felt before. Like lunar aspects have always been the goddess for me. My guides have been showing me that the feminine, there are so feminine aspects of the sun as well. It's not so moon is woman, sun is male, as I have always felt it was. There are solar goddesses. There are feminine qualities within the sun, kind of the essence of the sun, the Kushmanda Devi, the little golden egg that is like the power of the sun, is feminine and God. So I know if you are breathing air on this planet, you are feeling the awakening of the mother. If you have any kind of awareness You are feeling the awakening of the Great Mother, whether she is revealing herself to you in her dark form, in her mountain form, in her river form, in her angelic form, in her earth Gaia form. God as mother is becoming so loud, and it has to be. It's on purpose. We're actually in this little portal of time that happens 4 times a year, where access to her energy becomes even more powerful. For the next 9 days, we've entered this divine mother portal that is called Navratri in some traditions, but it's really loud. How there's 4 Navratris a year, and every time it comes around, anything you do that's aligned with the mother is heightened, because her presence is it's also heightened on this planet. Her presence in these little 9-day portals becomes so high that people have taken to just celebrating her the whole 9 days, and it's like the coolest thing. But even if you're like not all in like that, like, you can just feel her presence rising and rising and rising within the consciousness, and she's becoming more and more accepted and looked to, and that is just beautiful. Anyway, I don't know why I was talking about that. I could talk about Ma all day. So we're gonna do these practices that gets you just completely receptive to the crazy magic that's coming in. One of the Kriyas is an ancient Egyptian practice. The Egyptians used to practice this. And this is really funny that this came up because Egypt has been just so loud in the astral realms, in everyone's timeline. Almost every session I'm doing, it's timelines about Egypt. And I don't really do the Egypt stuff so much. Like, I can get into it. I love it. It's beautiful. I don't think a lot of people know the depths of the occult that came from Egyptian timelines, and where that came from, and where that came from, and where that came from. A lot of people are just like, oh, Horus. Oh, what's the one everyone loves? Hathor. You know, and Isis. And they just think it's like nice and pretty and like maybe a powerful thing to look at and talk about. And that's really it. They don't go any farther than that. And if you did get in a time container and you time traveled back to one of your lifetimes in Egypt, I think you would be very shocked about how you lived and how you felt about certain things, and how certain things were acceptable, which maybe in our mindset is not so acceptable. I don't think people know how deeply Western Christian programming goes with us and has separated us from the truth of humaning. You're like, just the truth of general humaning has been so, it's so twisted and like, you know, yeah. I think, before I get myself in trouble, I think when we do dive into our past lives, that's wonderful, and our guides have used that a lot for awakening the Western mind to realize it has lived before. Our guides have kind of used your past as bait, like carrots on a hook. Resonance, carrots of vibration, carrots of resonance, feelings of like, why do I remember that? Why can't I stop thinking about that? You know, or like, why do I love a specific culture or a specific culture's food? Or I just feel like I've heard this language before. Or you go into it, you know, it drives you down a path, and then you end up in a QHHT session, and you're getting all these validations and these hits and reminders of who you were. And they're glimpses. And that's why I'm saying it's bait. It's carrots on sticks. It's keep looking, keep looking, keep looking. It's not really to get so caught up in what you were and we get stuck, and it's not our fault. It's because of our conditioning. If you find something in your past that you really resonate with, you tend to get stuck there. You cling to that memory. You look for that. Keep astral projecting to that. Keep meditating to that. Keep focusing and researching that. And that's cool, right? Especially if you're applying it. That's more than most people do, especially if you're like doing that kind of research. But you have to start feeling why. Why am I remembering this now? Why does this particular lifetime or that particular lifetime or that galactic lifetime or this galactic connection, why does it even matter? Right? Okay. So, and that's not really to get all like a nihilistic, but it's just think about how it's kind of drawing you down a path. We're not supposed to get stuck in who we were. We're supposed to be remembering that we were, just remember that you were. Remember that you were, and that remembering itself activates your awareness of your infinity. And that's the whole point. The point isn't what we were, who fought what war, when, who's, Pleiadian, who's Arcturian, who's this, who's that, Don't get so caught up in what you were. Remember that you were. That's the point. To remember that you even were before this one. Because in remembering that should spark a hunger inside you and a knowing that you will always be. Right? And so what's coming next? And also these things are not even coming next. They're coming now. My parallel timelines are coming in now. And I can see them, and I'm dreaming about them, and I'm feeling them merging with me to different levels of intensity for different people. Anyway, so these kind of things are important to activate your sense of infinity, because in doing so, we can do so much more with the consciousness. When the consciousness realizes its eternity, then you can separate from this temporal flesh vehicle. And so, all that being said, the Kriya that we're going to practice is called the Kriya for Supernatural Powers. And that triggers me because you are not supposed to meditate for powers. You are not, that goes against everything every teacher has ever taught me. Like, you are not supposed to ask even. Like, I asked a teacher once about meditation for siddhis, and this, like, we had been back and forth texting all the time, super chummy. It was almost like she didn't even see the text message, and I knew the answer. Like, I was like, all right, like, let's move on, because if you're meditating for capacity, then you completely missed the point. You do. You do. If you have a long lasting sadhana, the longer you do these practices, the more it activates more and more and more and more and more and more and more with you. And this is a world of duality. It goes up and down, up and down. You make money, you lose money, you get friends, you lose friends, you have this job, you lose this job. But if you have one thing that you do the same every day, a sadhana, I do this same time every day, I do these same practices, that wave, it don't bother you because you have this wave board. You made a literal surfboard that can ride it. And it's not a surfboard either, because it's especially a Kundalini yoga sadhana. It's a rocket ship, and it'll get you above duality to the point where you don't need like to have the power to read people's minds. Because you're so tapped in with the infinite mind, you realize that that's so stupid. Like, why would I want to know what one person is thinking about? Is usually a fucking mess, or I don't need to meditate for this. I want clairvoyance. I want this. I want that. You meditate to expand beyond the constrictions of this material body, beyond the constrictions of this 3D mindset. And everything comes. All you have to do is say, I want to connect with the infinite, right? So if you are saying like, I want super strength and I'm going to do this meditation for super strength, then you've kind of missed the point. So when I read the name of the Kriya is meditation for supernatural powers, I was like, oh, come on, what? But okay, so the ancient Egyptians did this practice to activate supernatural power. So I did it. Of course I did it. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I can see why it would be called that, because it does activate supernatural powers. But I can also see why it would severely disappoint and kind of like make maybe people with not the purest intent to turn around. Because after a few days of doing it, they're going to be like, oh, this isn't doing anything. I can't make lightning come out of my hands. I can't turn that light on with my mind. This meditation doesn't work. And then they'll stop. Thank God. Thank Goddess that they stop. And we can keep going. So this, it just kind of binds this midline together, and the hemispheres of the brain are bound together in this meditation. It's not an easy meditation. None of the stuff we're doing today is easy, and I feel like I have been shortchanging people and not giving them enough credit and never doing like the hard cool stuff. So I'm going to start doing the hard cool stuff. So it's just funny that this particular meditation came up because I was talking trash about it. About like, oh God, the egos that would be attracted to that meditation. And then my guys are like, no, this is the meditation we're doing. It's because so the activation that we just made, which takes place, astral projects you into the king's chamber of the Pyramid of Giza, is activating this center channel that nobody talks about as circulating an energy field that's within you, and you can circulate with your own consciousness. And the activation does this, which opens kind of the DNA coding for this angelic activating template. How many times can she say activate in one video? Hi, Charlie. Yeah. What? Okay, my manager just told me to hurry up. So let's do the sun breath to pull in the solar coding. Here's what we're gonna do. The left arm is gonna be at your shoulder, palm facing front. You're gonna make the Surya Mudra. So your ring finger and your thumb are touching. And if this becomes uncomfortable, starts to wobble or slip during the practice, make sure it stays straight up. And you're going to find your Venus mound, the pad of your palm right here, and bring these 3 fingers to touch it. It'll be uncomfortable. That's fine. It's okay to be uncomfortable. So you're going to put this finger to completely block this nostril, and you're going to start a breath of fire. So let's talk about the breath of fire first. Inhale. And completely fill your belly with air. You can put your hand on your belly button now. So inhale and feel the bag of your belly fill with air. And exhale and press your belly button to your spine and suck the belly in. And let's try again. Fill up, press out. You should feel the navel moving forcefully for this particular practice, for the sun breath. When you do breath of fire, the most important thing you should really focus on is the equal amount of inhale, equal amount of exhale. Make sure those are the same, and only coming through the nose powerfully, but there should be a little navel movement pumping. But for this one, they really say like the navel has to move, because this is like your Daitian in Qigong, is your solar energy point. So we're trying to like pump it, activate it. It's very powerful. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do for 3 minutes. We could do 5, but 3 feels good. I want to talk about the ending too, because we're gonna have to seal this energy in, and you do this in a particular way. It's a little funny. And when you're all high from doing 3 minutes of breath of fire, you might not understand what I'm trying to tell you. So at the end, we're gonna hold the breath deeply. And when the breath is held, we're gonna interlace our fingers, starting with the right thumb on top. So cascading down from the right, being on top, it's a little uncomfortable. I think because I'm in a female avatar, my left automatically wants to be on top, but this is about the solar energy, I guess. So this is, That's not written. I just said that. Anyway. And the palms are going to be around your thymus, right? So all of this energy is coming out of the palm chakra towards the throat, right just below the throat almost, coming right for that thymus gland. That's what we want to hit. And then about 14 inches away from your body. And then you're going to pull. All this while you're holding your breath. You're going to pull them and make a resistance. It was a really great tension. And we're going to do that 3 times. I'm going to tell you, inhale, pull, exhale, inhale, pull, exhale, inhale, pull, exhale. Okay, so this is sealing the solar coating in. So this is important. And on the last exhale, you are going to discharge your breath through, through an upturned lip. So like, right? If you were turning your lips up, it gets more complicated. Are you ready? I told you I'm not giving you the baby stuff anymore. So the tongue is going to be curled back on the roof of the mouth while you're breathing out for that last exhale to get the energy to go up and seal it. The tongue is curled back. It's coming through that. Okay? Through that sequence, that neurological arrangement. Just get it done. Just do it, okay? It's going to seal the upper palate upward. This is the point. The last pranic exhale should go through the upper palate going up, not out, up. And then we get the ascendant quality. Okay? No big deal. No big deal. Let's go. One second. Okay, so let's tune in with 3 Om Namo Gurudev Namos, and then we're going to do the protection mantra, which is Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siri Gurudev Name. 3 times, and rub your hands together. Inhale deep. Draw your thumb joints to your sternum. Close your eyes, pull your root lock up, pull your rectum and sex organs up into your navel, and roll the eyes up and in. Look at the brow. Exhale. Inhale again. Pull everything up, up, up. Move that energy from the root lock up the spine, out of the crown. Roll the eyes up and in. And exhale. And inhale to tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Press the palms together. Pull down your container of white light energy. See yourself in the center of a tube of white light. Exhale. Hold the visualization around you. As we chant the protection mantra, let the white light get denser. Inhale. Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Sri Guru Deva Vehi Name, Ad Gure Sadguru Name, Sadguru Name, Sri Guru Deva Vehi Name, Sadguru Name, Jugar Guru Name, Satguru Name, Sri Guru Deva Vehi Name. Inhale. Pull everything up, press the palms, press the tip of the tongue against the roof of the mouth and roll the eyes up and in. Hold the breath here. And exhale and relax your hands down. Okay, so here we are. Surya Mudra. Fingers against the pad of the palm. And blocking off this right nostril. And let us begin our breath of fire. Okay, and inhale deep and cross the fingers. Hold them at the thymus and pull, hold and pull. Exhale. Inhale. Pull. Make a very powerful amount of tension. Exhale. And last one. Remember, we're going to exhale with that funny mouth and inhale. and pull. And exhale. Beautiful. Like a little shrimp. Like a little baby shrimp. Okay. So that's actually the second time I did that today. And I am not on this planet right now. Alright, so we're gonna do the meditation for supernatural powers. First, we're gonna do some spinal flexes because I'm not setting you up for failure. Put your hands on your knees. Oh, hold on. I have a baby. 1 second. Okay, hands on your knees. Inhale, bring the chest forward. Exhale, round the spine back. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Only through the nose. And make it a spinal movement. The skull should be in the center. It shouldn't be moving back and forth. We'll do this for 3 minutes. Your clock is going, so you can go. Almost done. Inhale and come all the way forward. Hold the spine forward. Hold the breath in. Pull the root lock up. Rectum, sex organs come up. Press the tip of the tongue up. Roll the eyes up. Exhale. All the air out of the body around the back. Pull the root lock up. Roll the eyes up. Tip of the tongue presses up. And then inhale and come neutral. And then let's get into some deep occult Egyptian magic. Okay, let's go. So it's not super complicated, but it is about endurance. So all of these tattvas are connected to your mind. They're also connected to planetary energies, but this one is you. This one is your identity. So your ego or your soul essence is here. Your left hemisphere of your brain, your right hemisphere of your brain, they're crisscrossed. What we just did with the solar energy, you just pumped all of that solar energy into your right brain, and that is your like psychic power center. So here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna make a fist with thumbs pointing up, and you're sitting in easy pose, just meditative pose with a straight spine. And you're going to put your arms in front of you and line them up, elbows touching, forearms touching, wrist touching, fist touching, thumbs touching. Everything's touching, okay? The whole nervous system is being bound. You're gonna wanna move. You're gonna wanna wiggle. The arms are gonna wanna come apart. You're gonna wanna, but this is why I'm saying I'm not giving you the baby stuff anymore. You have to keep it still. You have to keep it still, right? And kind of right here. Right in front of you. Your eyes are going to be focused on the tip of your nose anyway. So the breath, here's the breath. The breath is inhale as long and as deep as you can. Hold it for as long as you can. Exhale as slow and long as you can. And hold the breath out for as long as you can. And we're going to do this for 11 minutes. You're going to go through a lot. Okay? You're going to go through a lot. But no, you're not just traveling through time in this meditation. It's linked. Time, space, and object. You are the object. Your consciousness is the object. So it's going to start opening layers of reality for you as your mind, you're never this united. You're always divided. That's why you can't get anything done. That's why you're so distracted. That's why I can't hold focus and teach a meditation, because we're always like a million thoughts when we do a million different things. It's very rare that we are one, that we are absolute. That is considered supernatural. So we're going to do this for 11 minutes and your body may revolt, but just know it's just 11 minutes, and you're going to focus on the meditation, the mantra that I'm going to be playing, which is Ad Such, Jugad Such, Hai Be Such, Nanaka Hosi Be Such. This is a light shielding meditation and so much more. It's a light shielding mantra. It's a very protective mantra, but it does a lot more than that. It's protective because it puts you in a literal celestial container. Okay, okay, so let's go. You get into position. I'm going to start our timer for 11 minutes. Sit up straight and tall. Get your fists together, your forearms together, kind of in front of you. The eyes are looking at the tip of the nose, and you're going to start to breathe in slow. As long as you can. Hold as long as you can. And exhale for as long as you can. And hold the breath out for as long as you can. Don't forget that part. A lot of people go right back for the inhale, but hold the breath out.
Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such. Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be
Focus on the mantra, keep holding.
Such to God, such
You're crossing a threshold right now.
Nanakahosi be such.
Your nervous system will start to twitch. Just hold.
Such to God, such happy, such Nanakahosi be such.
Force the arms together.
Such to God, such happy, such Nanak hosi bhi sach.
Vibrate this mantra in your mind.
Such, Jugat such, है भी सच, नानक होसी भी सच. Such, Jugat such, है भी सच, नानक होसी भी सच. Such, Jugat such, है भी सच, नानक होसी भी सच.
Sweat is purifying you. Let yourself sweat. Let yourself shake. Let the shaking is the nervous system. Let yourself tremble.
Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach.
Almost 75% done. Keep holding.
Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach.
Last minute.
Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach.
Master your will, your mind.
Such,
Master your body.
such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi sach. Such, Jugat such, hai bhi sach. Nanak hosi bhi
Breathe
sach.
deeper. 30% more deeper. We're almost done. Seal this work in that you did with the prana. Breathe deeper. Hold longer. Exhale deeper. Hold the breath out longer. And inhale and hold. We made it. Hold the breath. Exhale and relax the arms down. If you did the whole thing, I am so incredibly proud of you. I've done that before and I know how tough it is. And it's hard for me to do practices with you guys so I can watch the timer and watch the music and everything. So I pop in and out, but like we ended this practice at 5:55 my time. Like, I mean, come on. You see how many other forces are at play with you? You just want to hold your arms in one position. What's the problem? Why is it so hard? Your mind doesn't want to play. Your body doesn't want to play. You know, your subconscious is giving you all the reasons why this is stupid, all the things that you should be eating right now or scrolling through right now. But, you know, you literally just pulled in your own upgrade. And that's what this is about. This is what my guides have always said it's all about: catalyzing the self-sufficient human mechanism for you to be able to self-diagnose, for you to be able to upgrade yourself, for you to be able to heal yourself, for you to say, I want to activate more ability to travel further into subtle realms, and I know how I can do that on my own. Yeah, I don't need to keep going to external sources. I can do it with my breath and my body. I can do it with mantra. I can do it with this and with that. That's what we're stepping into. And that's really what is going on in that very complicated activation that I made, where I am usually trying to make it as simple as possible and not really giving you the full experiences that you could be having, because I feel like, you know, people might not get it, or it might be too difficult or too complicated, but I can't keep dumbing myself down because it drains me. And the people who this is meant for, the kind of work that I create, will find the people that can do these kind of things and appreciate these kind of things, and, like, you know, maybe kind of really like these kind of things. So the Pyramidion is the capstone of the Great Pyramid. And because we were just in Egypt, we were just practicing one of the deep occult initiative practices of ancient Egypt for the seers, for the science deities, the scientist deities, and the ones that they call the seers. They all had these very initiative kind of things that they were part of, that went into further commitments and deep dedication and lifelong commitments to metaphysics and practices of the spiritual nature. But these things are becoming more and more in our field, out of just whispered from master to disciple through oral tradition. These things have become alive and allowed and open. They're not locked down anymore because of where we are in this timeline. And okay, so I'm getting distracted. So we were talking about the capstone. This timeline holds keys that kind of make these channels to other timelines, where you can pull in these rich resources of information, of just galactic wealth of things that we need, because right now our system is collapsing. Our matrix is collapsing. Everyone's unhappy. Everyone hates this system. We're all complaining about this system, but nobody's really offering any alternatives. So I think all of this galactic download and dumping that's coming into us, this awareness that's coming into us from past lives that we're remembering with, is to start to offer these solutions. Hey, we used to do this in our ancient future past, and this is how it worked. When we were a telepathic community, when we were an awakened society, we did it this way. And coming from the individuals that are starting to make, you know, shine their light, and their light is attracting communities, and everyone is starting to make communes, and everyone's starting to gather and remembering how we used to live. And that's what this is really doing. But some of us have a little bit more input to give, a little different input to give from the different things that we did. And I'm speaking very diplomatically. Some beings walking in this timeline right now are literal gods. Some beings walking in a human avatar right now are literal gods that cannot remember how to work any of their stuff. They can't. They know, they feel it, they're resonant with it, but there's nothing in their society that supports it. They're heavily medicated, or they're eating too much crap, or they just don't even know about any of the realms of consciousness. They only exist from the physicality. There's so many reasons why you want to tap into a frequency field that is like this. Especially when our go-to is Google. You know, every time you want to know something, we Google it, and Google is lying to our faces, just directly to our faces, and misdirecting and misleading and guiding, you know, the conversation and the narrative. So it's time to turn inward. You have literal ascended masters all around you that are whispering to you, angels that are whispering to you. Your past timelines, your parallel timelines are like, hey, you remember when we used to do this? You could, if you would meditate. So now we're in these places where awakening is supported. Nobody's gonna come put you on a spike anymore because you can manipulate subtle energies. No one's gonna call you a name and burn you or fear you. Actually, people might be really into what you're doing. It's a very different thing. So I think now it's time to go full weird and access the full energetic spectrum that is, well, not even full. This is just like the tip of the iceberg, but it's more than what we're used to. Energetic spectrum that is available to you. The capstones have been removed from almost all the pyramid structures on our earth, and they're disabled, and their teleharmonic fields are not active because of that. But in subtle levels and in interdimensionary planes, they are intact and they still function perfectly. And we can tap into that. Us kind of crazy starseed yogis can tap into these fields. You have DNA keys inside your blood, inside your physical avatar that open stargates in different dimensions. Like, yeah, a bunch of people can walk through the temple of Utfu in Egypt and nothing would happen. They'll think it's a very mystical experience. But some people walk through these places and their DNA is recognized, and they pass out, or they go into a trance, or they disappear, or they stop speaking and stuff like that. It's these are the beings that are kind of like filling my inbox right now. Like, who am I? What am I? Why can I do the things that I can do? Why do I remember the things that I remember? Why do I long to do the things that I can't seem to quite do yet? And we're getting there. If you were born after 2000, then you are fully awake. You came in knowing what you are and what you can do. We had to kind of shift through the fog, and we're still, my generation, people are still hitting that existential crisis of, is this real? Is this real? Is this real? Am I really magical? Am I really making this happen? Like I think it and it happens? It can't be real. It just isn't. We still, every 2 seconds, we're doubting it, and that doubt keeps slamming us back in the third density. So we need some hard-hitting evidence, Even with the hard-hitting evidence, I find that some of these beautiful, amazing psychic superstars that I work with are still needing validation over and over again of like, is this actually happening to me? More so than the young people. The young people I work with, they're like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I made that happen. Yeah, I do that all the time. I've been doing that. I love it. But we still are like, I don't know, and that's really the biggest difference that I noticed between our guides and ourselves, and any kind of awakened society that I astral project into or remote view things or information or glean information from. It seems like as a collective, they have all decided that there's an invisible force around them that is communicating with them, and they communicate back with it. Here, we still are like, I don't know, because church told me it's not. And so, I don't know, all these coincidences and synchronicities talk to me, and like, I feel like something's talking to me, but I don't know what it it's time to just go. The eclipse happened. You need to just get off the pot. Shit or get off the pot, baby. Are you magic or are you not? Are you in it or not, or you aren't? That's what I'm talking about with the commitment to the occult, the commitment to the metaphysical. When we tap into these past timelines of Atlantis and Lemuria, and I was a priestess of this, and I was in this temple, and I was with Isis, and I was with Hathor. You were committed to the spirit. You were committed to the mother god. You were committed to the Shakti. You were committed to... It was your obsession. It wasn't an obsession. You were saturated with it. You woke up in spirit. You went to sleep in spirit. Everything was it. It wasn't, I do it on YouTube when I meditate and then I go back to work and I talk to my family about other stuff. And then I come in here and I do my spiritual stuff. And then like, why can't I see ghosts? Why can't I activate my superpowers? I meditate once a year. It's like, I'm not yelling at you. This is the guides, but they want some commitment. So they want some commitment to who you are. It can't be so separated anymore. It can't be so if then now that I do Reiki in my Reiki room. I do meditation in my copper pyramid. No, you're in like contemplation 24/7 because you're in this matrix surreal reality 24/7. It's not separated. It's always happening, this dream. So you don't just like kind of tune into the dream and tune back into the illusion. You stay in the contemplative awareness, and that comes with where we're going, and that allows you to leave the physical avatar, which allows you to do so much more. When you can transcend the body, we can start getting into the celestial contact that people are really looking to have. Bonding with their spirit guides, knowing and depending and creating this very dependable, consistent relationship with the beings around them that love and guide them, and with the force, the universal forces around them that love and guide them. And I have so much more to say, but I won't. So I just want to say that I'm going to put a link to the capstone activation. I know I've been very vague about what it is. It's an activation within the pyramids of Giza, within the main pyramid of Giza, inside the king's chamber, where you're activating a subtle energy field within you that's called your microcosmic orbit. And it's not quite the chakras. It's what separates your left side of your body from your right side of your body. And when you start operating with these awarenesses, you really can feel like, this is my feminine side, this is my spirit half, and this is my masculine. It feels like there's a man on this side and a female on this side. When you start realizing that you're bilaterally split, right, and by this energy field that runs unconsciously. If you don't know about it, it's always running. It gets blocked, it gets clogged, it gets a mess from whatever we're eating or feeling or digesting or filling our eyes with on TikTok. But if you are consciously aware of this thing, you can kind of go within and feel around in your own energy and get it moving on your own. And then you're generating an energy field that's really a little tiny fractal of the macrocosmic orbit. And when you're in touch with that within this eclipse field, that's what we're doing. We're activating your microcosmic orbit inside the king's chamber of the pyramid of Giza, so you can pull up through that energy grid that locks into that particular pyramid system. It goes through our Orion when I think it's aligned with this whole alignment that's happening right now. It puts like the north node of our moon that's opening that aligns with the Andromedan galaxy. So right now there's a lot that you can receive. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's different when you're working with the Stargate that is Giza. But you, in this energy field, you will receive much. And we're so bio-individuated. It's all going to be a little different. I've been doing a lot of yoga today, so I might not be making sense. Trust you're receiving the transmission from me if my words don't make sense. So you're going to be kind of tapping into the pyramid earth grid, pulling up to the Andromedan Stargate, and then coming back down and cycling it through your system while you're inside the sarcophagus in the king's chamber. So it's like this resonance chamber, right? And then you're holding that field it starts circulating through you, and then it does it on its own, and you come back out of that meditation with that running through your system. That galactic coding running through your system is going to activate any angelic human coding that you have that's already dormant, activating any DNA that's already dormant, because only people with activated DNA have awareness of this conscious field, the circulation, right? So reverse it. If I just circulate it, the DNA will activate. I don't have to like activate the DNA to realize it and then circulate it. I can do it backwards, right? I probably sound like a crazy person. That's fine. I just really want everybody to try it and realize the true fields of energy that they're working with within their body, so they don't have to depend on all of this crap that we get chained to on earth, and people start thinking that they need like pharmaceuticals and like drugs and coffee and energy drinks and whatever we use to kind of like fill that hole. It can start being filled with our own light, and we're light workers, and we talk about chakras all freaking day, but nobody knows what to do with them besides balance them. That's very little. Balancing them should come from just having a regular practice. Getting someone to balance them, that's like child's play. But you should be projecting through them. You should be traveling through them. You should be going into different realms of yourself and realizing where different things are held. That's how you get to different... I'm saying too much. Okay. Try the activation. Just try it. It's a little bit complicated. There's a try to come. There's a little bit of remote viewing that you're going to have to do with these amazing drone shots of the very top of the Giza pyramid, like the top bricks, where these scientists went up there and like were whipping, a long time ago in like the 1900s, were whipping a glass bottle around because they heard like electricity in the air and somebody got an idea. So he's like tied a string to a glass bottle and was like whipping it around and literally like turned a light bulb on or something. There's so much energy up there. They know that. The capstone's not there. You remote view into that space. That portal of energy will recognize you, and then that's when the magic happens. So you have to kind of portal yourself in through a visual meditation, and we've made this incredible light code with the picture of the drone shot of the top of that, the very top of the Giza pyramid, which is a portal, and with the this beautiful Sri yantra superimposed directly on top of it. And there's some other kind of light codes going in through it that will make it really open and activate it for you. So you will begin the activation by looking into this activated coded portal, and you kind of meditate into this space. And then once you're there, you close your eyes, and the pyramid will take you the rest of the way. And I have been talking entirely too much, and I'm probably walking into a mess downstairs because I've left Charlie unattended. Okay, so let's do 3 long sat nams, and I love you all so much. And tell me everything that you experienced in these meditations in the comment section. If you do the activation, tell me how that went in the comment section. I'm coming back with so much more stuff. I'm sorry I've been so dormant, but it's been weird. Pisces season was weird. Okay, inhale. Satnam, deep bow to you. Happy, happy, happy.